All right, so this is a suggestion via donation. The name of the video is The History of Japan. Listen, if you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. The more that you like this content, the more that I know that you specifically would like to see more of this specific type of content, okay? Let's check it out. All right, guys. I can tell you right now that I am probably somewhat of a novice when it comes to Japanese culture and overall history. I think I know enough, maybe, to have like a solid conversation, but absolutely I cannot give any type of like dissertation on Japan. But let's see where this takes us, guys. Hopefully we'll find out a whole lot of brand new information here.
Japan is an island by the sea filled with volcanoes and it's beautiful. In the year -1 billion, Japan might not have been here. In the year -40,000, it was here, and you could walk to it, and some people walked to it.
Right.
Then it got warmer, some icebergs melted, it became an island, and now there's lots of trees. Because it's...
Bro, what is happening here? This is like an acid trip, kind of. Like his way of like teaching is interesting, but like the whole thing gonna be this hectic? Either way.
Walk to it. Then it got warmer, some icebergs melted, it became an island, and now there's lots of trees.
Right.
Because it's warmer.
Yeah.
So now there's people on the island. They're basically sort of hanging out in between the mountains, eating nuts off trees, and using the latest technology, like stones.
Yeah, stones.
Ding dong. It's the outside world, and they have technology from the future, like really good metal and crazy rice farms. Now
like the rice farm dynasties. That's not what it was called. Basically, like all of Japan got taken over by like rice farms, and everyone was just rice farming, guys.
You make a lot of rice really, really quickly. That means if you own the farm, you own a lot of food, which is something everybody needs to survive.
Correct.
So that makes you king. Rice farming and rice kingdoms spread across the land.
Rice. Sorry. Rice kingdoms, not rice dynasties. Apologies.
All the way to here. The most important kingdoms were here, here, and here. But this one was the most important, ruled by a heavenly super.
That and like later on in life, that basically turns into the actual capital, I think Kyoto. Right, let's get
here, and here. But this one was the most important.
Somewhere really close to that area, at least.
Or emperor for short. Knock, knock. Get the door. It's religion. The new prince wants everyone to try this hot new religion from Biekt. Please try this religion, he said. No, said everybody. Try it, he said. No, said everybody again, quieter this time. And so the religion was put into place,
this
and all
time.
the rules that came with it. Then the government was taken over by another clique, and they made some reforms, like making the government govern more, and making the government more like China's government, which is a government that governs more. Hi, China, they said. Hi, dipshit, said China. Can you tell us something else other than dipshit?
Oh, like Japan. Right, this is how they got their name, right? Like Sunrise House of Sunrise Kingdom, something like that, guys. Japan translates to that. That's how they got their name, fighting with China.
Said Japan. Like what? Said China. How about Sunrise Land?
Oh, okay. So, apologies. Sunrise Land. You see what I'm saying? I don't really, my knowledge of Japan is, somewhat minuscule, but we're here.
China's alphabet and wrote a book about themselves. Yep. And then they made lots of poetry and art.
Then they altered it.
Themselves. Then they stopped moving the capital every time the emperor died and kept it in one place for a while, right here. And they conquered the north finally. Get that squared away.
Right.
A rich hipster named Kukai is bored with modern Buddhism and learns a better version, which is more spiritual.
Right.
Comes back, reinvents the alphabet, and causes
the alphabet change
for a long time. And the royal palace turned into such a dream world.
This is why Japanese and Chinese kind of look similar, but they absolutely are not. They just are different. Kukai assisted in that, basically, right?
World of art that they really didn't give a shit about running the country.
Right.
So if you live outside the palace,
they focus way too much on art at that time.
From criminals, hire a samurai. Everyone started hiring samurai. Rich and poor.
Not everyone.
Samurai. Poor people who could not afford to hire samurai.
Okay. Not everyone.
Samurai did not hire samurai.
Thank you for the correction, sir.
Samurai. The samurai became organized and powerful, more powerful than the government. So they made their own military government here. They let the emperor still be emperor, but the shogun is actually in control.
Absolutely.
Breaking news: the Mongols have invaded China.
Okay, we're getting into the Mongols. All right, so how the Mongols basically correlate with Japan is that they actually tried to like infiltrate Japan, I think 1 or 2 times somewhere, something like that, guys. And both times they were basically destroyed by like a natural disaster type of thing, guys, right? The first time, okay. The second time, I think they made it in a little bit further, but they still got destroyed by a natural disaster. Guys, the luck of the Mongols were absolutely horrific, guys. Specifically in terms of Japan.
Invaded China,
said the Mongols.
Please respect us, or else we might invade you as well.
Right.
Okay, said Japan. So the Mongols came over, ready for war, and died in a tornado. But they tried again and had a nice time fighting with the Japanese, but then died in a tornado.
Right.
Then the emperor overthrows the shogunate.
It's a little bit more than that, but yeah.
And the shogunate overthrows him back and moves to Kyoto and makes a new shogunate. And the emperor can still dress like an emperor if he wants.
Yep.
That's fine. Now there's more art. Like painting with less colors, collaborative poetry, plays, monkey fun, tea parties, gardening, architecture, flowers. It's time for who's going to be the next shogun. Usually it's the shogun's kid, but the shogun doesn't have a kid. So he tries to get his brother to quit being...
Yeah, but he no. He does have a kid. At this very specific time, he tried to get his brother to do it, but then the brother was like, I don't know, right? Or something like that, right? And then the son, it's a funny story. Then he ended up having a son, and then it was just like, bro, I think I'm gonna give it to my son. Sorry, bro.
Could be the next shogun. He says, okay, but then the shogun has a kid. So now who's it gonna be? Vote now on your phones. And everyone voted so hard that the palace caught on fire and burned down.
That's not how it happened.
He was off somewhere doing poetry.
Bro, that's not how it happened.
Broke into pieces.
They didn't vote so... They voted so hard the palace burnt down? Bro, that's a little bit more information than that, but...
Everyone is fighting with each other for local power, and it's
that's hilarious,
game.
bro.
Knock, knock. It's Europe.
Comedic timing
they're not
is
here to take
great.
over. They just want to sell some shit.
Not yet, right?
Like clocks and guns and Jesus.
Right.
So that's cool, but
They were
everyone's
like,
still
nah.
fighting each other for control. Now with guns. And
Right.
wouldn't it be nice to control the capital, which right now is puppets with no one controlling them?
Until.
This clan is ready to make a run for it, but first they have to trample this smaller clan, which is in...
Yeah, but this Oda here, they literally, even though they're smaller, they literally demolished them and then basically installed someone.
the way. Surprise, the smaller clan wins, and the leader of that clan steals the idea of
Tried
invading
to.
the capital and invades the capital.
Oh,
that
he
goes
did.
very well. He's about halfway through conquering Japan when someone who works for him kills him, and then someone
Right.
else who works for him kills them, and that guy finishes conquering Japan. And
Okay,
then he confiscated
okay.
everybody's swords and made
Cool,
some
cool.
rules. And now I'm going to invade Korea and then hopefully China, he said, and failed, and also died. But before he died, he told these 5 guys to take care of his 5-year-old son until he's old enough to be the next ruler of
That didn't work out well at all, right? Because this kid was too young, obviously. Like, why would you care? I mean, I get it. For the sake of honor, right? Like, listen to the guy's advice. I want you to raise my son up to become the emperor, the shogun, right? They were like, nah, bro, why would we do this when we can easily do it ourselves?
Japan. And the 5
It's a
guys
kid.
said, yeah, right. It's not going to be this kid. It's going to be one of us, because we're
Right.
grown-ups. And it's probably
Okay.
going to be this guy, who happens to be way more rich and powerful than the others. A lot of people support him, but a lot of people support not supporting him. They have
Right.
a fight, and he wins, and starts a new government, right here. And he still lets the emperor dress like an emperor, and have very nice things. But don't get confused. This is the new government, and they are very strict. So strict they close the country. No one can leave, and no one can come in. Except for the Dutch, if they want to buy and sell shit.
Okay,
They have to do it right here.
I think America also was able to get in there too, though. Not just the Dutch. It was like the heavy powers. I think Russia also. America, Russia, the Dutch, I guess, and the UK, I think.
Now that the entire country was not at war with itself, the population increased a lot.
Yeah.
Business increased. Schools were built. Roads were built. Everyone learned to read. Books were published. There was
They
poetry,
focused on
plays,
themselves.
sexy times, puppet shows, and
Sexy
advanced studies.
times.
People started to study European science from books they bought from the Dutch. We're talking geography, skeletons, physics, chemistry, astronomy, and maybe even electricity. Over time, the economic and cultural prosperity began to gradually slow down. Knock, knock. It's the United States.
Oh, okay. So
Huge boats.
I was thinking of the wrong time period. All right.
With guns, gunboats,
Yeah.
open
Yeah.
the country.
Right
Stop
now.
having it be closed, said the United States. There's really nothing they could do, so they signed a contract that lets United States, Britain, and Russia visit Japan anytime they want.
Yeah.
Choshu and Satsuma hated this. That sucks, they said. This sucks. And with almost very little outside help, they
was a
overthrew
little
the
bit more
shogun
than-
and somehow
It was a little bit more than them just saying that, guys.
now made the emperor again and moved him to Edo, which they renamed Eastern Capital. They made a new government, which was a lot more Western. They made a new constitution that was pretty Western.
And they basically started like getting rid of the samurai at this time, even though the samurai basically helped them build their entire country. They basically threw the samurai away like they were nothing. Basically banned from from being even seen in public. They were demonized, absolutely demonized after protecting and building their nations. The story is a pretty sad story. Hopefully he jumps into that a little bit deeper, but like it's a pretty sad story when this happened.
And a military that was pretty Western.
Yeah.
And do you know what else is Western? That's right, it's conquering stuff. So what can we conquer? Korea.
You just brushed
They conquer
over it.
Korea, taking it from its previous owner, China, and then go a little bit further. And Russia rushes in out of nowhere and says, "Stop! No, you can't take that. We were going to build a railroad through here to try to get some warm water." And Russia builds their railroad, supervised by a ship.
And then like literally installed he's saying a ton of soldiers, but it was probably more than a ton of soldiers, bro. They basically sent an army.
Ton of soldiers. And then when the railroad was done, they downgraded to a fuck ton. Did I say downgraded?
Okay, yeah, they sent
and
a
Japan
whole
says,
lot of
"Can
people,
you
bro."
maybe chill?" And
No.
Russia says, "How about maybe you chill?"
Right.
Japan is kind of scared of Russia. You'll never guess who's also kind of scared of Russia. Great Britain. So Japan and Great Britain make an alliance together so they can be a little less scared of Russia. Feeling confident, Japan goes to war against Russia, just for a moment, and then they both get tired and stop. It's time for World War I. The world is about to have a war, because it's the 1900s and weapons are getting crazy, and all these empires are excited to try them out on each other. Meanwhile,
Right.
Japan has been enjoying conquering stuff and wants more. And the next thing on their list is this part of China and lots of tiny islands. All that stuff belongs to Germany, which just had war declared on it by Britain, because
Yeah, but then we ended up taking actually one of those islands that they mentioned.
China and lots of tiny islands.
Right here. One of the islands that they mentioned, the Marshall Islands, that's now the United States. So, like, we literally ended up taking that. Period. That's ours now. Let's get it.
All that stuff belongs to
Was it World War II? Maybe I think when we did that.
Germany, which just had war declared on it by Britain, because Britain was friends with Belgium, which was being trespassed by Germany in order to get to France to kick France's ass, because France is friends with Russia, who was getting
Right.
ready to kick Austria's ass, because Austria was getting ready to kick Serbia's ass, because someone from Serbia shot the leader of Austria's ass, or actually shot him in the head. And Britain is
Right.
currently friends with Japan, so you know what that means.
Right.
Japan should take the islands. Which they wanted to do anyway, so they called Britain on the telly to sort of let them know. And then they did it. And they also helped Britain a little here and there with some errands and stuff. Now the war is over, and congratulations, Japan. You technically
Bro.
fought in the war, which means you get to sit at the negotiating table with the big dudes, where they decided who owns what. And yes, Japan gets to keep all that shit they stole from Germany. You also get to join the post-war mega alliance, the League of Nations, whose mission statement is to try not to take over the world. The Great Depression is bad, and Japan's economy is now crappy, but the military is doing just fine, and it invades Manchuria. And the League of Nations is like, "No, don't do that. If you're in the League of Nations, you're not supposed to take over the world." And Japan said, "How about I do?" And Japan invaded more and more and more and more of China, and was planning to invade the entire East.
You've got mail.
It's from Germany, the new leader of Germany. He has a cool mustache, and he's trying to take over the world and needs friends. This also got forwarded to Italy. They all decided to be friends because they had so much in common. It's
And Spain.
time for World War II. Germany is invading the neighbors. Then they invade the neighbors' neighbors. Then the neighbors' neighbors' neighbors, who happened to be Britain, said, "Holy shit." And the United States started helping Britain because they are good friends, and started not helping Japan because they're friends and our friends are not friends.
Right.
They're planning on invading the entire ocean. The United States is also working on a large, very huge bomb, bigger than any other bomb
Hiroshima.
ever, just in case. But they still haven't joined the war. War looks bad on TV, and the United States is really starting to care about their image. But then Japan spits on them in Hawaii and challenges them to war. And they say yes. And then Germany, as a symbol of friendship, declares war on the United States also. So the United States goes to war in Europe, and they help the gang chase Germany back into Germany. And they also start chasing Japan back into Japan. And they haven't used the bomb yet, and are curious to see if it works. So they drop it on Japan. They actually drop two.
Yeah. Basically. Okay.
United States installed a new government, inspired by the United States government, with just the
Right.
right ingredients for a post-war economic miracle. And
Right.
Japan starts making TVs, VCRs, automobiles, and camcorders as fast as they can, and also better than everybody else. They get rich, and the economy goes wild, and then the miracle wears off. But everything's still pretty cool, I guess. Bye.
Oh, like literally buy. Oh, okay. Well, this was such a guys. Hold on. Well, that was interesting. I like this guy's overall style. He glosses over a lot, but I understand. He fit all of this into 9 minutes. That doesn't make any sense. Trust me. I don't think it's plausible to actually jump into and finish and complete this in 9 minutes. I just don't know how that's even possible, but he did it. He got through it. This could have been easily 3 hours, right? Just with like all the kind of the stuff that he just like brushed over. But honestly, a lot of this, I think it is taught in school, right? I guess depending on whatever level of education you went, right? But like, I think this is, for the most part, taught in school. A large amount of this, at least, right? But his delivery is great. I enjoyed it thoroughly, guys. Listen, now let me know in the comments of the next thing out from him that I should be listening to, and I will get into that as soon as I possibly can, all right? Listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy it thoroughly.